We're trying our hardest this week to get the roof up and on, but we are in a spell of having really stormy wet weather, so the chances are it is going to be somewhat challenging. The sooner we can get the roof on, the better, because doing this building in the winter, it's not ideal, and obviously there's a lot more bad weather on the forecast.
Just as it started raining yesterday, we came out and rigged up a huge tarpaulin that we've got. We pulled it up and over the top of the rafters just to create a sort of temporary roof over the cabin. We tethered it down to as many trees that we could get a rope to, basically, because as well as rain, it's been super windy, and this huge tarp over the top is basically like a big parachute. I'm happy to report, though, that it's actually done a really good job. We were both pleasantly surprised. Apart from a few points where the tarpaulin was worn and it's dripped down to the base, for the most part, the wood is bone dry. We've got the tarp here tied up on the front. It's concertinaed, so we can get it back out again quickly, because I think we are going to need it tonight. There's a lot of rain coming, so I know this isn't quite centre court, but we're going to be getting this out quicker than the ball boys and girls at Wimbledon.
Come on then, Henman. What a current reference.
Deuce. So there's a number of tasks that need completing before the roof panels can start going on top. The first of which is the sort of triangular sections at the top end of each of the gable walls. There's a bit of brain power having to go into this one, because I'm having to cut various pieces to match the angle of the rafters. So far so good. I've got the end pieces on and our top plate, effectively, if you want to call it that. Next up, I just need to fill it out. So I need to continue all of these studs up to that top plate to support it. That's then going to give us something to fix our OSB sheathing to at the top, but also the plasterboard on the other side of it when we eventually get to working on the interior. I've just had an absolute shocker. I messed up 2 of them studs so many times. I know there's the saying, measure twice, cut once. I've just measured and cut so many times and just kept getting it wrong and wrong over and over. That was a bit frustrating. So I thought that was going to be a very simple job. So ended up getting me a bit wound up. So the sandwich panel roof that we're putting on, it has a certain amount of structural integrity, so it can actually span distances without any support and still take a load. In our case, we've only got to put 4 supports up, and 2 of them are at the top and the bottom, with then just 2 in between. So it's pretty good, easy to install little system. We've obviously got the rafters to kind of serve 2 purposes really. One is to support those purlins for the sandwich panels, because without the rafters there, we'd have to have the purlins spanning unsupported the long length of the cabin, and it would need to be much, much, much bigger timber. So by putting the rafters on, it meant that we can put the wood on the small side, the thin side, rather than the tall side for the purlins. And it also means that when we're inside here, we've got something to fix the plasterboard to.
I know that some of the ways that we're preparing for this baby's arrival are a little bit out there, a bit unusual, like building a cabin, but we are still trying to do the normal stuff as well, you know, prepping different baby bits and bobs. And one thing I'm really particular on wanting to try and do is doing some meal prep. I actually became the very proud owner of my first slow cooker the other day. I got it in the sale, and I want to basically just try and fill up our freezer as much as possible with really hearty meals that are going to be really quick to prepare when we want to eat them. You know, maybe we need to add some veg or cook some potatoes to bulk it up a bit. But I know when you're postpartum, there's like particular nutrients you need and just really deeply nourishing food, and I don't really have many recipes, so I'm trying to research it. Perhaps you've got some that you could recommend for me to try, especially in the first few days and weeks of having a newborn. I think making sure that everyone's fed and watered and happy is probably the biggest gift we can give to ourselves, and also just making sure that we've got as much free time, I use that term very loosely, but as much free time to spend all together as possible.
So now that the purlins are up, I'm moving on to continuing with the sheathing to try and get as much of that done as possible. I was hoping to make a good dent in it this afternoon, but I've got a feeling that my day is going to be cut short because we had a big 15-minute downpour whilst we were eating lunch and everything has got soaked, but the sky has just gone very, very dark and it's really threatening rain. The forecast has now changed to say we've got a lot coming tomorrow, so I might have to try and cut the day short just to try and give me some time to get the tarpaulin over and try and just protect as much as possible. If we can just ride it out and keep it dry tomorrow when it's really heavy, and then the day after that it's meant to be sunny, so then I can really push on and get as much done as possible and finish the sheathing, cut out the windows, get it wrapped, and then we'll be getting some roof panels on. It's a beautiful autumnal day today. The sun is shining, which I'm super grateful for because it's been pretty rotten the last few days. And even though we've had a big tarp over the top and tarps on the floor as well, water has still seeped in places and pooled on the floor. I'm back working on the sheathing, trying to get that finished. I've started today with the triangular parts at the top on the gables because they are definitely going to be the trickiest, so I want to try and get them done early whilst I've still got my brain working at full speed.
I've not actually been inside for ages now. I don't think even all the walls were fully boxed in, and there definitely wasn't the sheathing on, so I'm gonna scale the ladder and have a go. I've only got to go up maybe 2 or 3 steps. This is not going to be the way that we're entering the building though, is it?
No, we need to get some steps sorted ASAP, really.
Or we could just have a trumpet on the floor and we just take a healthy bounce to get in. Oh, that was very easy.
Are you liking it?
It feels really inside.
It feels really inside.
Yeah.
Good description.
Yeah. Well, we've obviously not got sheathing on this entire front bit, but it does still feel or a roof, but it still feels really hunkered in. It's nice. Still got that one to cut out.
Still got all of them to cut out. The trees are just about hanging on to their last few leaves around here. Good little metaphor for my mental state at the moment. I feel like I'm just about grasping on to my sanity at the moment. It's been a crazy few weeks.
It's not where I thought you were going to go with that. I thought you were going to refer to all the rafters and being clucking to try out and maybe show off your monkey bar skills.
Not with a popped rib.
No, not advisable.
I'm quite liking this big OSB box. Kind of feels like this should be an art gallery or something. It is very bright though in this landscape. It doesn't blend in particularly well, so I'm looking forward to when it's wrapped, that'll soften it a bit, but then down the line when we get the cladding on, that's obviously going to make it settle into the space.
This video is sponsored by Exeter. They make smart wallets and accessories that are sleek, well designed and come with inbuilt security features, and they would make an excellent Christmas gift or just a little treat for yourself. So this is the Wallet Pro. It's made from Italian vachetta leather, apologies for my pronunciation, and it's got a really slim profile, so no danger of any questionable bulges in your pockets, but you can still fit in 14 cards plus cash. And this little button gives you instant access to your cards, plus the wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Also, their card holders and wallets have got RFID blocking technology that will keep your contactless card information safe from thieves. So we are well and truly into the festive season, and if you're lucky enough to be heading off for a little Christmas getaway or doing the rounds visiting your family, you might find that you're a little bit short on space, what with all the bulky layers you need to pack. If this is you, these travel packs are going to become your best friend, and they come with their own teeny tiny little pump, and they'll give you up to 60% more space in your case. Exeter are currently having a massive Christmas sale with up to 54% off, so you can click our link in the description or scan the QR code and make sure that you use our code LIFE at checkout because it'll give you an additional 10% off. Woohoo!
A window. Victoria's wanting to lend a helping hand, so I figured before I started sheathing the front, if I could just cut out the windows on the back and the sides where I've done it already, then she can at ground level at least tape as many of the seams and around the windows as she can reach, and it will just help me out a bit and save me a job further down the line. I'll just cut the window out with this router, with this bit. And this bit is so good for this type of job. You can see it's got a little ball bearing on the end. That rolls around on the wood, and then it's got a cutting piece then that then cuts anything along that line. And you can see it just cuts it completely flush to the frame.
I've got my climbing apparatus.
It's a bit small.
Well, I'm not allowed up high, am I? So
It is going to be so bright in here. When there's plasterboard on the wall, obviously ceiling's still yet to be covered, and the front, but it's going to be bright.
yeah, the window to wall ratio is definitely lovely. So bright. The baby's never going to sleep.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it,
Yep.
is to tape anywhere where you can reach all around these window openings, and also these seams.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that tape is actually going to be sticky enough.
It's pretty sticky.
Yeah, on your hand. What's it like on the wood?
Pretty sticky.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's stuck. Good and
Perfect.
proper.
Okay.
The taping is my kind of job. Not too taxing. It means that I can just enjoy the nice weather that we've got this afternoon. We had planned to wrap the house with the house wrap before putting on the roof panels. Has it got a more technical term than house wrap? No, okay. However, it has transpired that we're not going to have enough of the tape that I've just been using to completely tape up all the seams on the OSB. So we are now pondering if to slightly pivot and get on the roof panels instead, because we have got more rain on the forecast and we want to protect this as much as possible. If the roof panels are on, it is going to make wrapping it harder. So we're going to take a beat and sleep on it.
We're taking the plunge. We're going to attempt to get the roofing panels up today. The sun's shining and there is very little in terms of wind, so it just seems like too good of an opportunity to pass up. Because they're a fixed width, the actual overhang on the gable ends, either end, is a bit too much. So I'm just trying to weigh up at the moment how much we can take off to still have a bit of an overhang, but it not affect the structure of the panel, because I can't take more than a third, if I remember rightly. So we're thinking we're going to cut it back to here, and that's going to give us about a 20 centimetre overhang on each of the gable ends, which I think will be sufficient. We don't have to worry about the overhang on the front and the back because we had these manufactured to the size we want. So as long as we set the overhang correctly, that'll fall in the right place. We wanted them to be an anthracite grey, but the lead time on them was just far too long for us to wait, whereas we could get these within a week. We're going to see what it's like with the red, but we are more than likely going to end up painting them, but not right now. That's going to be much further down the line. There's a ton of things on this project that are just being added to a big long list of things to do or potentially do once we're in and once we're settled. So yeah, this is going right on the very end of that list. Can I borrow you for a second?
You may. Do I need proper shoes on? Or are these sufficient?
Crocs will be fine. Right, so need to do this stalk line. You come here. So I'm cutting it. I'm going to try and get it basically there.
Okay.
Where that joins. So if you hold that, like basically right at that point where I want it to be. That's okay.
Yeah, that's a good line.
I'm a bit nervous about cutting this. Wait, runaway circular saw, because I'm not sure if I've got the right blade or not. I'm going to do a little test piece on this piece. It's going to get chopped off anyway. before I go and do the proper cut. Take a bit of the pressure off. Right. So it cuts really cleanly, which is good. However, there's tiny little metal filings flying off everywhere. So don't know if I need a visor or something, but I definitely want to put something underneath this so when the dogs come through here, they're not going to get these in their paws. Hey, yeah. God, that was a horrible noise. That was a little bit unsettling because there were sparks flying off everywhere and that insulation is flammable, but thankfully all went smoothly. Oh, that was satisfying. I wanted to try and leave that on just to protect it a little bit while we were getting it up, but it was just coming off in so many places anyway, so I'll try and leave it on for the rest of them. I'm just going to mark out the overhangs with some tape so it's really easy for Victoria to see from underneath, and then she can just shout to me which way I need to push the panel from above. For those of you watching in the UK, this is not a political statement. I'm not going to go and paint a roundabout after this.
Okay, so we are slightly working this out on the fly, but current plan to get it up is I'm going to be holding this rope and Ricky's going to be taking all the load, pushing it up. TBC if you're going to be on the ground or on a ladder. Just need to see how far you can actually reach, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to know because once we put this up next to the building, this is obviously going to be like much taller. I can't visualize how much this wants to swing out.
And sort of seesaw as well.
Yeah, basically. So I just want to get it on there and we'll see. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
Nudge.
Keep going, yeah. Is there any way that we should
Pivot.
we'll go a bit further and then pivot?
It's unbelievable how light these things are.
Let's just get it as close as we can. Have you got the rope?
I've got the rope. Oh, it's so close. Oh, it's on, isn't it?
It's on, yeah. Oh, it's caught on a purlin. Can you pull the rope down a bit? That's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, that was pretty easy.
Yeah. Obviously that one was lighter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell me when.
Okay, it's about another foot. Stop. Shall I pull it from this side?
No, you don't need to do anything, darling.
Okay.
That wasn't too difficult, was it?
No, that was really smooth.
Pleasantly surprised. We'll get this one straightened up and get this fixed down and then...
On to the next one, the big one.
The big one. Hey, how far?
You'll probably need to go about 12 centimetres. And nearly there. You found some treasure? Oh, look at your face. Right, are we making any tweaks or adjustments before getting the next one up?
No. I haven't screwed in at every peak, every ridge on the purlin. I'm just thinking probably a wise thing will be to obviously have that one secured with the bare minimum on each purlin. We'll get the others up, we'll get them overlapped, and we'll get them on.
Okay.
We'll get all the way to the end just to make sure that before we cut that last one, that the overhang's right, and if we have to tweak anything, we can. But if all we have to do is remove 4 screws to give it a little bit of a wiggle if there is a problem, then so be it.
Yeah, it's not too taxing.
And then once it's on, I can just whiz round and just do all the screws.
We've got our method.
We've got our method.
Got it?
Yeah.
Keep home. So what's better than no roof? Half a roof.
It's under half a roof.
Yeah, they are flying up, aren't they?
Oh, millimetre perfect. Right, okay, we can cut this and get it up then.
Tidy.
I'm just marking with some tape where the purlin is.
So we know where to screw.
Exactly. That tree's going to be in the way.
Now we're ready.
Now we're ready. Locked and loaded.
I'm 10 out of 10 grateful that it's not been a windy day today, because I think that final panel going on was hairy enough as it was, because it was just wanting to pivot, but it's on. Now time to actually get the thing attached. You filling up your purse?
My purse.
Your bits and your bobs?
A manly purse. Yeah. Filling up with screws, so we have to do one of these longer ones.
Yeah.
Across every single ridge on the purlin, and then these smaller ones have to go all the way down where they join, where they overlap, basically.
Okay.
So that will only penetrate into the 2 panels just to keep them secured down on the overlap. But then these ones are actually going to be what holds it in place.
Into the wood.
Well, there's quite a few.
He's taking the maiden voyage inside.
I thought it was going to feel a bit like low and hunkered down, but actually it feels fine. I kind of forget it's like a normal ceiling height at the front, but it's actually a bit higher at the back, so it should feel roomy, really.
Yeah, it's got just shy of an extra foot at the back, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I'm just so glad to have this on, because we've got pretty much a whole day of rain tomorrow. So having this on just means we can relax a little bit. We've not got to dilly-dally around, covering everything up and getting all the water out in the morning. I mean, a tiny bit might come through the windows at the back, but in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be nominal.
Don't you point that drill at me.